Hello, welcome back to the English Language Learning Podcast. Today's episode is another unpopular opinion. I'm going to try to do this faster than normal. The episodes are a little bit longer than I would like, so we'll see. Let's get right into it. The headline, the title. I've noticed most people really don't know what they are talking about. They just wing it. And you can find the link to the social media post that I'm reading in the info section on the YouTube channel. Again, the headline. I've noticed most people really don't know what they are talking about. They just wing it. Again, I've noticed most people really don't know what they're talking about. They just wing it. Maybe three more times. I've noticed most people really don't know what they're talking about. They just wing it. I've noticed most people really don't know what they're talking about. They just wing it. And one more time. Let's go slower, though. Maybe a little bit less natural. I've noticed most people really don't know what they are talking about. They just wing it. Okay, that's the headline, the opinion from Life. JJ, Life is Weird. Again, I'm reading this from social media, from reddit.com, reddit.com. You can find the link in the info section. Grab a beer, have a coffee. If you're in traffic, God bless you. If you're exercising, well, more power to you. You can sit down and study and take notes, or just listen while you are doing something else in your day. But again, the intention or pretensão is exposição, mais exposure to English, and not something that's very dry, like in a language book, or listening to a kind of fake conversation on a CD that you got on Cambridge. So let me read the elaboration. Again, one more time, the title. I've noticed most people really don't know what they're talking about. They just wing it. I chose this headline because of the the expression to wing it. To wing it. W-I-N-G. To wing it. So, the explanation, the elaboration. What are they talking about, and why do they have this opinion? I am 25 now, and I have come to the realization that a lot of adults don't know what they are talking about. Some think they know, but they only know a fraction of what they are talking about in any topic, and then they complicate their sentences to sound either smart or because they don't know what they are talking about. And I see this all the time. Nowadays, most adults are all talk and BS, and kids easily fall for it, which is really sad to say. I can't even take 30-year-olds serious with how manipulative and fake everyone is, or maybe everyone just have a bad perception of things and just want to compete with each other. Okay, that was the explanation. Please, if it's too fast, listen again. Escutar de novo. Escutar com menos velocidade, que você pode arrumar no seu celular. If it's too easy, listen to it maybe one more time anyway. But coming up next, we will review all of the English, the challenging words, vocab, and everything English related to the reading I just did. I've noticed most people really don't know what they're talking about. They just wing it. We're going to review now the English. You can find the link to what I am reading in the info section, or more info, or mais informação, I think is the the vocab there on the YouTube channel. Let's start with the title. First of all, noticed, right? You see noticed, you might think noticia, something about the news. It's more like observo, observer, to observe, to notice, to see something, to observe something. So I have noticed is eu já anotou or observei, ouvi. Most people really don't know what they're talking about. They don't know. They're just talking without knowing. They just wing it. So wing, W-I-N-G, is asa. But the expression to wing it is a specific expression in English, not related to asa. Well, I don't think so. To wing it is to improvise. Improvisar, to act like there is a plan or some knowledge or you know something for certain, but you really don't. So improv acting, right? Improv acting, what are they doing? They're just winging it. They're just winging it. And again, the pronunciation. They are just winging it. They're just winging it. They're going from one scene to the next scene without un roteiro, without a script, without a plan. They're just acting in the moment, improvisando. So to wing it is to improvise, to not really know, to not really have an end point or some knowledge or a plan. You're just improvising. To come to a realization, chegar à conclusão, chegar à conclusão, right? To arrive at a conclusion, to have an epiphany, to almost, receive some knowledge from somewhere, from seeing something or hearing something or thinking about something. Nowadays, where's nowadays? Nowadays, it's in here. Nowadays, it's in the middle, almost the middle of the paragraph. Nowadays, most adults are all talk. Nowadays, hoje em dia, currently, atualmente, but hoje em dia, most adults are all talk. I don't know the expression for this in Portuguese. All talk significa que a pessoa ou as pessoas não fazem de verdade, só fala de fazer, né? So it's superficial, right? It's someone or people who talk about something, but they don't do it, or they don't know how to do it, or they never done it. So most adults are all talk, meaning they don't know from experience or they don't know from learning. They're just talking BS. And that's the next, right? Nowadays, most adults are all talk and BS. Bullshit. Bullshit. Mentirosos or falando merda. Talking out of their ass. Falando do cu. I don't know if you say that in Portuguese. I have never heard someone say that in Portuguese. We do say this in English. You're talking out of your ass. Or blowing smoke, right? Where you're just kind of talking, your mouth is moving, there's hot air coming out of your mouth, but there's not really any good substance. So that's what bullshit means. Not good, not accurate, not sem veracidade. Ramble. Yeah, okay, so another word. This is not in the text. Ramble. R-A-M-B-L-E. To ramble. To ramble. Devagar, vaguear. To talk and talk and talk with no apparent end or ultimate point or argument. Todo mundo conhece uma pessoa, ou talvez todo mundo tem incidente quando está falando, mas sem direção. Talvez você está ouvindo na rua depois de um bloquinho de carnaval, uma pessoa bem bêbada falar, mas o que está falando não faz sentido. That is to ramble. And so this is kind of the idea when they're saying they're just winging it. They're just talking, not like a drunk person, but they're just talking, and they don't really know if anything they're saying is true. That is all. I don't have any more vocab words. If I missed anything, if you have any confusions or doubts or questions, you can leave a comment, and I promise, I will respond to you. You just have to leave the comment. So tem que deixar o comentário. In the next segment, we will ask questions and have conversation about the topic of winging it, improvisar, rambling, divagando, vagueando. I've noticed most people really don't know what the hell they're talking about. They just wing it. That's the expression to wing it. WING. I guess the infinitive would be to wing something. But we usually don't say the thing. Usually it's just wing it. For example, oh, I didn't prepare, but I know the content. I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to wing it. I don't have a specific plan. I'm just going to wing it. Or fuck, I left my plans at home. I what am I gonna do? Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna wing it. I think I'll be okay. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna wing it. So wing it, improvisar, to do something without a specific plan or end point, or without a specific knowledge, which is more of the focus here. Adults, people, just talking about things and they don't really know the reality of the things they're talking about. We did the headline, we read the explanation, we reviewed the English. Now we got questions and conversation about the theme. So, first question: how often do you suspect that someone is just winging it and talking with a superficial certainty about a topic? Com qual frequência você está suspeitando que alguém está improvisando só e, falando superficialmente, com certeza superficialmente sobre um tema? How often do you suspect that someone is just winging it and talking with a superficial certainty about a topic? How often? That's tough. I don't know how often. That's the hard part. But I think when someone uses, and this is the next question, but um, I don't know if it's frequently or infrequently. I really don't know. I think when people are, for example, okay, let's be specific. I watch ESPN. I watch shows and sports talk shows. Political, I don't watch political shows, but when I'm watching a show, especially news related, even if it's sports news or political news or just, human interest stories, the basic news, cat stuck in a tree, I am always suspicious that these people do not know what they're talking about. Why? Because they're being paid to talk about anything on TV, and especially a specific topic. They're not paid to be accurate. That's, for fuck's sake, obviously not true. People who do political talk shows always are, almost habitually are wrong about things. Maybe not everything they say, but it's a daily occurrence that people say things on TV and they're wrong. Especially on sports TV, people say a lot of things, predictions, right? When someone's predicting something, um, yeah, they probably don't know what they're talking about unless they're including lots of statistics. So for me, I'm always suspicious of people who are paid to be talking. Um, that is so any time. So the question is how often? Con qual frecuencia? How often? How frequently? How often do you suspect people are talking out of their ass, winging it, improvising? Anytime they're being paid to do it, then I'm being suspicious of it. Number two, what are some red flags? Ooh, what are some red flags that someone is talking out of their ass about something? What are some red flags that someone is just winging it? What are some red flags that someone is improvising and they don't have any certainty? They don't know what they're talking about. Some red flags. Well, the first one, are they being paid to talk about something and are they collecting their money before they're talking? Number two, are they talking fast? That's a big one for me. If you're talking really fast, it makes me think you don't want me to have time to think or check what you are saying. So talking fast, another red flag. Pergunta, primeiramente, a pergunta em português. O que são alguns avisos ou alertos que alguém está falando do cu? Again, I don't know if that's an expression in Portuguese. Que alguém está improvisando ou está falando de algum tema sem certeza, mas está atuando que tem certeza. Faking it, right? Superlativos. If someone is saying always or never or all the time or con certeza, no, that's a red flag for me. That is never, right? There's a superlative. It's almost impossible for someone to know always or never or all of the time. Um, that here's another one. So the next thing on the list, when someone says, some people say, or some are saying, algumas pessoas falam, algumas pessoas dizem, algumas pessoas falaram. Like, okay, some people say things all the time about many things. And if you are telling me some people say that drinking beer is bad for your bones, who are the people? It it makes a big difference who the people are. And if someone says some people say or some people are saying, well, I don't care. Tell me who, and then I'll evaluate. So, what are some red flags that someone is talking out of their ass? Anything else I can think of? Um, someone, I guess, sweating, suando, but yeah, that could just be a coincidence, right? That's a beer. I'm having a beer right now, guys. Um, any other red flags? I mentioned this in the first question. No statistics. No statistics. Oh, this is a classic one. Another good one. Look it up. Look it up or Google it. Look it up. This is true. You don't believe me? Look it up. That is a aposta de quem não está com certeza do que ele está falando. A aposta é isso, que a pessoa escutando vai de verdade buscar no momento que você fala. Oh, look it up. Busca no Google. Google it. It's a great tactic of someone who is improvising or winging it or full of shit. Number three, if you are in a conversation and are becoming suspicious that someone is talking out of their ass, someone is winging it, falando sem certeza, what do you usually do? Do you interrupt them and ask a question? Do you stay quiet? Do you stay silent and let them continue? Do you use your body language to express a doubt? What the fuck do you do? I wrote that. I have my notes for the episode. What the hell do you do? This is a tough one. I think it depends. It really depends on the context. If it's your boss, you just stay quiet and you nod your head. And anything that you need to argue, maybe you do it in therapy, or you do it at home, or you write it down, or you strategically wait and see who you can ask. If it's your husband, wife, partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, depends on the relationship. Hopefully, you just say, "Wait a minute, that doesn't sound true. Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute." That's what I use. I use "wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, slow down." Those are the words that I literally use to tell someone, "I am not following you. I think you're going too far. Show me some evidence. Hold on. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Wait a minute. Slow down." Um, do I stay silent and let them continue? If it's a drunk person, then, yeah, yeah, sure. I'm going to just nod my head, maybe rub my beard, rub my chin, and go, yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. But that's about as much as I'll do. Our final question. We didn't do that in Portuguese. Se você está conversando com alguém e está ficando com mais suspeição que ele está improvisando ou falando do cu, o que você normalmente faça? Você faz uma interrupção e perguntar, você fica em silêncio e deixa eles continuar. Você usa a linguagem, o idioma do corpo para expressar dúvida. O que porra você faz? Faça. Faça. It's difficult for me. Our final question. How often do you think you begin to talk out of your ass? Are there any topics that you are most likely to ramble? Com qual frequência você acha que você mesmo começa a falar do seu próprio cu? Ou que você mesmo está começando a improvisar e falar sem noção? Tem alguns temas que você está mais provável what was the word there? Devagar, vaguear. Ooh, difficult for me. Topics that so I would say topics that I'm most likely to ramble. My sports teams. If I'm talking about the Lakers, if I'm talking about my Lakers, I will ramble. I'm emotional, and I'm not grounded no chão. Não tô ficando no chão de realidade. More emotional, and so I'll say things and I'll go places that might not have veracity. Anything else? Maybe I'm too careful with what I say. Yeah, I'm not sure if there are any other topics. I'm sure friends and family, maybe students could give you some of my ramblings. Family definitely could do that, but I'm not sure. But what about you? What are some topics that you might start rambling about? And also, how often do you think you start to talk out of your ass? And can you recognize? Você pode reconhecer quando está começando a fazer isso ou não? That is it for today. Let me see how long. Did I keep it shorter? Not really. But I hope you enjoyed the topic. I hope you learned some English and were able to expand seu tamanho de amostra of listening and vocabulary and just someone speaking in English about something, natural English. Inscrever, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, a dislike. It's all helpful. If you have questions or doubts from this episode or just generally, you can leave a comment on any episode and I will respond to you. But thanks for listening.